Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about something a lot of us think about, height. We're going to dive into a real, science-backed plan to help you maximize every single inch you've got. But first, we need to get real and talk about a tough social truth. I mean, you've probably seen this online, or maybe you've even felt it in real life. And look, it might sound superficial, but let's be honest, this height factor is a real thing. There's this subconscious bias that just ties height to things like confidence and authority. And when you feel like you're literally not measuring up, it can seriously mess with how you see yourself, making you feel kind of overlooked or even invisible.
And that leads us to the most important question of all. When we're faced with that kind of pressure, most of us just kind of throw our hands up and blame our parents' genes, right? My dad's short, so I'm short, end of story. But what if that's the biggest myth holding you back? What if I told you your genetics are just the map, but your lifestyle is the actual journey you take on that map?
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with that hard truth, then we'll completely bust that genetic myth. We'll get into the actual science of how you grow, lay out a full-on action plan, give you an instant height fix, and then we'll put it all in perspective for the long game. Okay, let's dive right in. Part 1, the hard truth. Before we can even get to the solutions, we have to understand the subtle, and sometimes not so subtle, ways that society looks at height. And it's not just in your head. Studies actually show this. In the office, out with friends, taller people are often just seen as leaders without even trying. But this isn't about what other people think, it's about how that seeps into your confidence. If you're always feeling like the shortest one in the room, you might start to feel overlooked, and over time, you might even start to hold back your own personality. But that's where we make the turn. Enough about the problem, let's talk about the solution. This is where you start taking back control. Because your DNA, it isn't your destiny, it's just your potential. This, right here, is the mindset shift that changes everything. The myth is that you're chained down by your genetics. But the reality? That's just the map of possibilities. Your lifestyle, what you eat, how you sleep, how you move your body, that's what decides if you actually reach the destination on that map. The truth is, so many of us fall short of our potential simply because our habits never gave our body a fighting chance. So, if our habits are the key, how does it all actually work inside our bodies? Let's geek out on the science for a second. But don't worry, it's actually a pretty simple chain reaction. So it all kicks off in your brain. Your pituitary gland sends out the first signal, which is human growth hormone, or HGH. Think of HGH as a messenger. It travels down to your liver and tells it, hey, make this other thing called IGF-1. Then IGF-1 takes over and goes straight to your long bones, where it flips the on switch for something called growth plates. Okay, this wet clay analogy is the perfect way to picture these growth plates. They're these soft spots at the ends of your bones. And as long as that clay is still soft and workable, your bones can get longer and you can get taller. The whole game changes once that clay hardens or fuses. Once that happens, boom, vertical growth stops. For most of us, this is in our late teens, but for some, that window stays open into your early 20s. Okay, so now we know how it all works. The big question is, how do we support that process while that clay is still wet? Well, this brings us to the heart of it all, the 3-part growth protocol. This is your action plan to squeeze out every last possible inch. Part 1. Nutrition. I mean, you can't build a skyscraper without steel and concrete, right? Same thing here. You need vitamin D3 to even absorb calcium, and then you need K2 to act like a traffic cop and direct that calcium into your bones, not your arteries. Zinc is absolutely essential for cell division, which is literally what growth is. And of course, protein and magnesium are the actual bricks for building bone density. It all boils down to this one super simple but really powerful rule. Every time you eat, just ask yourself, is this food building my bones, or is it just for my tongue? It's a tiny mental shift that can completely change your results over time. So you've got the building materials. Now for part 2, we need to fire up the construction crew, and that's HGH. And listen, HGH has one mortal enemy, high insulin. Every time you eat sugar or refined carbs, your insulin spikes and slams the brakes on HGH production. That's why intermittent fasting works so well. It keeps your insulin low. It means sugar has got to go. It's non-negotiable. And finally, things like sprinting or playing basketball send a powerful signal to your brain to release a surge of HGH. And get this, the impact here is insane. Just by giving your body a 12 to 14-hour break from food, like finishing dinner at 8 p.m. and not eating again until 8 a.m., studies show you can boost your HGH production by up to 300%. It's just incredible how much power your daily choices have over your body's most important hormones.
All right, let's talk about something that can give you results today, even if your growth plates fused years ago. This is all about reclaiming the height you actually already have, but that's being hidden by years of slouching and spinal compression. So think about it. Your spine is made of all these little bones with soft discs between. And all day long, gravity is just squishing them down. This little routine flips the script. Just 5 minutes a day of hanging from a bar lets gravity work for you, gently pulling those vertebrae apart. A quick 2-minute cobra stretch in the morning makes everything more flexible. And honestly, the biggest one, just stand up straight, shoulders back, chest out, chin up. You can instantly look 1, maybe even 2 inches taller. It's free height you already own.
Okay, for our last section, let's zoom all the way out. Because, yeah, this protocol is amazing, but it's crucial to see the bigger picture. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and height is just one piece of the much, much bigger puzzle of building your overall value as a person.
And look, we gotta be real for a second. Patience and consistency are everything here. This isn't a magic trick. If you've spent 15 years with habits that don't support growth, you just can't expect to turn it all around in 15 days. You have to commit to this as a lifestyle to really see those results. So manage your expectations, but stay on the path.
And always remember, while height is one thing, it is absolutely not the only thing. Real, unshakable confidence comes from the whole package. You can build a strong, athletic body that commands respect no matter your height. You can become an amazing communicator that people can't help but listen to. You can build a career that gives you stability and freedom. When you work on these things, height starts to feel like a much smaller piece of the pie.
It really all comes down to this one powerful idea. It's about attacking this from 2 sides. On one hand, you use this protocol to maximize every last bit of physical potential you were born with, and at the exact same time, you work on building up every other part of your life. You do that, and you leave absolutely no room for regret. So the science is solid, and the plan is right here in front of you. The only thing missing from the equation is you. So, are you ready to get started? Are you ready to stop wondering what if and finally begin your mission growth?